The supporters of the European Union were back on the streets in central London yesterday, continuing their fight against democracy. The initial idea was to get hundreds of thousands of people to come to central London. Then they made an announcement a few days before saying, we are expecting tens of thousands of people. But the whole thing massively backfired. You're gonna love this. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Tousi TV. We are going to be talking about what happened throughout this weekend in London. We had a number of champagne socialists and liberal lefties getting on their coaches, their buses, their trains and cars from all over this kingdom to come to London, Westminster, to show the massive efforts they've been making in order to get all the VIP guest speakers, huge amount of people to come to London to fight to rejoin the European Union. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about the facts of what exactly happened, but also Ben Leo, the reporter from GB, decided to go to the march and ask some very, very basic, simple questions. Oh, it didn't go too well for the rejoiners.
What do you think of Brexiteers?
Idiots. Deluded.
What do you miss about the EU, sir?
Well, friends.
What else do you miss about the EU? Are you saying that Europe needs a bath?
No, with Bath for Europe.
Oh.
No. Oh no, I like the EU and I love living here, but I also love living in Spain.
Given that the majority now want to rejoin the EU,
Hang on, where's that from?
The Green Party, I'm going to do a politician bit now and just keep talking.
You can't just say 60% of Brits want to rejoin. Where's that from?
No newspaper.
Who, The Guardian?
Everything in the EU was elected.
Hang on, that's not right to say that the EU leaders that are elected. No one in this country voted for Guy Verhofstadt. At least our politicians are voted for in this country. Ursula von der Leyen is no one elected her.
Its operations are far more democratically run than in the House of Commons.
Well, they've not audited their accounts for about 30 years. That's not very democratic.
I think the European Parliament's accounts have been audited. But
See, I voted in 1975.
That 75 vote was
it wasn't to do with the...
was purely on a trading basis, wasn't it?
No, it absolutely wasn't.
The EU has morphed
You weren't
into
there,
something.
were you?
No, I wasn't born.
Exactly.
No, but I know what the vote was.
No, but I do because I voted in it.
What do you think of Brexiteers, guys? One word.
Cruel.
Cruel. That'll do.
We're Remainers.
You're Remainers?
Yes.
No, you're not. That says to Brexit. You can't be Remainers. What do you miss about the EU?
I miss the economic prosperity that we had. The other countries seem to have recovered a lot better from it than we have.
Germany's in a recession though, and we're not. So how is that true?
I'm not an economist.
Oh, that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So the last lady that you just saw, that it was just like a gift that kept on giving. She was talking about economic prosperity. Not just Germany, the whole of the Eurozone is in recession. The thing is collapsing, and this is basically controlled chaos, because on a regular basis, a cycle of doom that happens in the European Union. But they are controlled crises in order to basically keep the European Union stable enough, but not allow any of the member states to rise up. So that's the whole system. And also the number of other people who were just giving out very, very interesting answers. Like the guy who voted in the 1970s, the first referendum basically about the common market, and saying, no, I was there, I know what I voted for. Yeah, but we know exactly what the vote was for. It's written. It's in history books at this point. But anyway, so that happened. But there were a number of other things that happened as well. So firstly, there were a lot of people who were excited. So this person on train, I think, saying, guess what I am doing today? So I just replied on Twitter saying, signaling that you're virtuous, I'm guessing, because, you know, well, what else would you post this on social media with a t-shirt saying rejoin? But let's talk about the realities of the situation. So the EU flags team, whatever that is, said a rejoin national coach price prince movement. 100,000 people expected today in London for the march for rejoin. Do you know what exactly happened? Well, something very, very different happened. This. Yes. So basically, the reality of the situation was you had a few hundred people here, a few hundred people in the other corners, and the official figures that we now have is the National Rejoin March attracted around 3,000 people as they marched from Park Lane outside the London Hilton towards a Parliament Square for speeches and waving of flags of the EU nations. At Parliament Square, speakers including former Belgian Prime Minister Guy Verhofstadt, yep, and high-profile campaigner Gina Miller, who masterminded an anti-Brexit legal challenge, addressed the crowd. And again, if that wasn't enough for you guys, they also did this. I mean, what? Okay, let's talk about the realities, because facts matter. So, would the requirement to adopt the euro as currency change your decision to rejoin the EU if you would vote to rejoin? This is obviously the latest polling data from the 8th of September this year. 26% said, I would still want the UK to rejoin the EU if adopting the euro was a requirement. 76% of British voters do not want to rejoin the European Union under the rules that the UK would have to accept. So that's the whole point. And this is what the pro-rejoin campaign are not telling you. If you want to rejoin the European Union, you have to accept the Eurozone. You're going to have to accept the Schengen area and everything else. So it's basically impossible for that referendum to win. So bring it on. As long as the European Union are honest about the requirements, the rules for us to rejoin the organization, then fine. We could have an honest conversation. I'm not actually advocating for a referendum, by the way. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if there's going to be a referendum, bring it on. The EU needs to be honest. But again, we have to make sure that we have to stop any political party that is going to get into Parliament to even quietly take us back into the European project. Right now, Brexit Britain, the implementation of it has been a massive failure. We still have Northern Ireland being part of the European Union. We've still got thousands of EU laws in place. We're still technically linked to European Court of Justice on a number of issues. So we have problems, but we are officially no longer a member state. But the plans that Keir Starmer has, that Davey have, and all the other parties are going to be making much, much harder for us to have independence and self-determination. And this is not really a rant to support the Tories in a very blind way, because they haven't really offered any proper solution to do Brexit Britain. But the other parties, apart from obviously Reform UK, are being completely chaotic. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.